Most men hear the phrase masculine energy and immediately think it means being louder, tougher, or more aggressive. But that's not what true masculine energy is. Masculine energy is calm, grounded presence. It's the quiet strength that makes people feel safe around you. It's the ability to stay steady under pressure, to lead without forcing, and to hold your frame when the world tries to shake it. Women feel it instantly, not because of what you say, but because of the energy you project. The truth is, attraction isn't just about looks or money. It's about the psychological impact of your presence. A man who owns his masculine energy doesn't chase approval, doesn't fold under tests, and doesn't need to prove himself. He simply is, and that is what makes him magnetic. In this video, I'm going to break down the psychology of masculine energy, what it really means, how women experience it, and how you can cultivate it in your daily life to become the kind of man who commands respect without saying a word. Point 1. Masculine energy is rooted in presence, not performance. The first thing you must understand about masculine energy is that it begins with presence. Most men get this wrong. They think being masculine means performing, showing off, proving strength, talking over others, or trying to dominate a room. But that's not real power. Real masculine energy doesn't come from noise. It comes from presence. Presence means being fully grounded in the moment, so much so that people feel you before you even open your mouth. Here's the truth. Women notice presence more than performance. A man who's trying too hard feels exhausting. His energy says, please notice me. Please validate me. Please think I'm enough. And that desperate performance drains attraction instantly. But a man who's simply there, calm, relaxed, breathing fully, unshaken by his surroundings, that man radiates a quiet strength women can't ignore. His presence communicates, I belong here. I don't need to prove it. That is magnetic. Psychologically, presence equals stability. When a woman feels your presence, she feels safe. Not because you're the loudest or the flashiest, but because you're the most grounded. It tells her you're not distracted, not desperate, not insecure, you're centered. And that calm center is what her instincts are drawn to. Women test men all the time to see if they lose presence under pressure. If you stay steady, she feels your masculine energy. If you start chasing, fidgeting, or overreacting, she feels weakness. Most men fail here because they mistake presence for silence or arrogance. They think, if I just sit back and say nothing, that's presence. Wrong. Presence isn't about withdrawing. It's about engaging with calm focus. It's the difference between zoning out and tuning in. A truly present man listens deeply, makes eye contact without flinching, and speaks slowly with intention. Every movement is deliberate, not rushed. That's what makes women lean in. The stronger move is to train yourself to remain calm no matter the environment. Slow your breathing. Plant your feet firmly. Lock eyes when you speak. Let your words carry weight by not rushing them. Stop fidgeting. Stop chasing reactions, and simply be. When you master presence, you no longer need performance, because your energy speaks louder than any act ever could. So remember this. Masculine energy isn't about trying to look powerful. It's about being fully present. And presence is what turns ordinary men into unforgettable ones. Point 2. Masculine energy thrives on control of yourself, not control of others. The second key to understanding masculine energy is realizing it's about mastering yourself, not trying to dominate the people around you. Most men make the mistake of thinking masculinity equals control, controlling a woman, controlling friends, controlling situations. But true masculine energy doesn't need to control others. It shines because you control yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your decisions, and your frame. Here's the truth. Women don't feel safe with a man who loses himself at the smallest trigger. If you explode in anger, sulk when things don't go your way, or get rattled by rejection, you're not showing strength, you're showing weakness. Real masculine energy is emotional regulation. It's being able to stand calm when chaos erupts, to respond instead of react, and to remain steady even when she tests you. That steadiness is what women crave because it tells them, no matter what happens, this man won't collapse. Psychologically, this is about dominance over the self. When you can master your impulses, your jealousy, your anger, your neediness, you rise above 99% of men. Why? Because most men are slaves to their emotions. They get led around by their feelings instead of leading themselves, and women see it immediately. She doesn't respect the man she can push around with a little attitude. She respects the man who stays calm, who doesn't bend out of insecurity, and who doesn't chase just because she pulled back. Most men fail here because they confuse suppression with control. They think, if I hide my feelings, I look strong. Wrong. Suppression isn't strength, it's avoidance. True control means you feel the emotion, but you don't let it dictate your actions. You can acknowledge anger without raging, feel attraction without begging, feel disappointment without crumbling. That's mastery. The stronger move is to practice self-command in every area. When stress hits, breathe before reacting. When she tests you, smile instead of snapping. When rejection comes, stand tall instead of folding. When you can remain unshaken, you send a powerful message. I am the one in control here, not my emotions, not outside circumstances, not anyone else. So remember this, masculine energy isn't about bending others to your will. It's about bending yourself to your own will. A man who masters himself becomes unshakable, and that's the energy women respect, trust, and are drawn to without resistance. Point 3. Masculine energy is about direction, not drift. The third pillar of masculine energy is having direction. A man without direction is like a ship without a compass. He may float, but he'll never arrive anywhere. And women feel that instantly. You could be handsome, funny, even charming, but if your life has no path, no mission, no purpose, she won't feel that deep attraction. Why? Because masculine energy thrives on forward momentum. It's the sense that you know where you're going and you're not waiting for permission to move. Here's the truth. Women don't fall for men who wander. They fall for men who lead. A man who drifts from job to job, hobby to hobby, relationship to relationship communicates instability. He shows he hasn't chosen his path, and that uncertainty drains attraction. But a man with direction, whether he's building a business, chasing a vision, or simply living with discipline, radiates strength. His life has a current, and she feels pulled into it. Psychologically, direction equals certainty. Certainty is magnetic because it removes confusion. When you know your mission, you don't need to overcompensate with flash or fake confidence. Your actions align with your vision, and that alignment creates presence. Women don't want to be the man's compass. They want to walk beside a man who already has one. Most men fail here because they confuse busyness with direction. They run around chasing distractions, scrolling, gaming, partying, wasting time, and convince themselves they're living. But activity without purpose, this is just drift. A woman senses it immediately. She feels the lack of clarity, the lack of drive, and it kills her respect. The stronger move is to define your mission and align your life with it. Ask yourself, what am I building? Where am I going? Who am I becoming? Then live by those answers. Even if you're not at the destination yet, the fact that you're moving with purpose changes how people feel around you. Your words carry weight, your decisions have direction, and your presence inspires trust. So remember this, masculine energy is not random, it's focused. A man with no direction drifts into weakness. A man with direction pulls others into his orbit, and that pull is what makes women not just attracted, but deeply invested. Because once she feels your direction, she doesn't just see a man, she sees a future. Point 4, masculine energy radiates through calm strength, not loud force. The fourth core of masculine energy is calm strength. Too many men confuse strength with aggression. They think being masculine means raising their voice, flexing their muscles, or dominating every conversation. But real power isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the man who can walk into a room without saying a word and still command attention. That calm, controlled energy is what makes people respect you and what makes women feel an undeniable pull. Here's the truth. Loudness is often insecurity in disguise. The man who constantly brags, shouts, or demands attention is usually the weakest in the room. He's performing, trying to convince others of a strength he doesn't truly feel inside. But the man who is calm, composed, and steady doesn't need to perform. His energy speaks louder than any noise could. And women sense it instantly. They feel safer around calm strength because it communicates, I can handle pressure. I won't fold under stress. I don't need chaos to prove who I am. Psychologically, calmness signals confidence. It shows you trust yourself so much that you don't need to prove it. And confidence paired with control is magnetic. Women test men all the time to see if they'll lose their composure, whether through silence, teasing, or attitude. If you snap, chase, or crumble, you fail. If you stay grounded, steady, and calm, you pass. That steadiness makes her lean in because it reveals true masculine energy. Most men fail here because they think force equals power. They argue, they posture, they exaggerate. But the louder they get, the weaker they look. A woman doesn't admire the man who tries to overpower everything. She admires the man who doesn't need to. True strength is self-assured. It doesn't rush, it doesn't panic, it doesn't overcompensate. The stronger move is to train yourself to stay calm in moments where most men lose control. When someone disrespects you, don't blow up. Hold your ground with composure. When a woman tests you, don't overreact. Smile and let it slide. When life gets hard, don't panic. Respond with quiet confidence. That energy communicates far more than anger or aggression ever could. So remember this, masculine energy isn't about being loud, it's about being steady. It's not about flexing harder, it's about standing firmer. Calm strength is rare, and that's why it's unforgettable. Women don't chase the man who shouts, they chase the man who doesn't need to. Point 5. Masculine energy comes from independence, not neediness. The fifth foundation of masculine energy is independence. A man who depends on others for validation, approval, or identity cannot project true masculine strength. Why? Because his energy is built on need, and neediness is the fastest way to kill attraction. Masculine energy flourishes when you are self-sufficient, when you can stand alone, make your own decisions, and move forward without waiting for someone else to guide you or complete you. Here's the truth. Women can feel instantly whether you need them or choose them. A man who needs her validation will bend his standards, chase excessively, and panic at the thought of losing her. That's not confidence, that's dependence. And dependence suffocates attraction. On the other hand, a man who is independent, who values her presence but doesn't require it, creates magnetic pull. His energy communicates, I'm whole already. You're an addition to my life, not the foundation of it. That balance is what makes women chase instead of run. Psychologically, independence equals strength. It shows that your sense of worth isn't tied to anyone else. You're not fragile, you're not insecure, you're centered. And when a woman feels that, she relaxes. She doesn't feel the heavy burden of being your entire world. Instead, she feels the thrill of joining a man who already stands strong. Most men fail here because they confuse independence with arrogance. They think, if I act like I don't care at all, that shows strength. Wrong. Detachment isn't strength. It's fear of connection. Real independence means you can care, connect, and even love deeply, but you never lose yourself in the process. You remain grounded in who you are, with or without her. That's what makes women respect you, because you're not controlled by fear of loss. The stronger move is to build a life you're proud of, one that doesn't revolve around her. Have your own mission, your own circle, your own passions. When she sees that you're already fulfilled, she'll want to be part of that world. But if she feels you're clinging to her for identity, she'll pull away. So remember this, masculine energy isn't born from chasing. It's born from choosing. Independence is the proof that you're a man who doesn't need anyone to complete him. And when you live that truth, women won't just be attracted to you. They'll respect you because you're the man who never loses himself. Point 6, masculine energy lives in action, not words. The sixth core of masculine energy is action. Too many men waste time talking about what they'll do, what they want, or what they plan to build. They talk big, but their lives show nothing. And women see through that instantly. Masculine energy isn't in promises, it's in proof. It's in the discipline to back up your words with consistent action. A man who acts speaks louder than 1,000 words, and that's the type of man women respect. Here's the truth. Women don't fall for potential. They fall for progress. Every guy has dreams, but very few actually chase them. When a woman sees you taking daily action, whether it's grinding on your craft, building your body, stacking your finances, or pursuing your mission, she feels it. She sees a man who doesn't just talk, but moves. And that movement radiates masculine energy because it shows you're not passive, you're not waiting, you're creating. Psychologically, action communicates certainty. It says, I don't need to convince you with words, I'll show you through my life. And that energy is magnetic because it's rare. Most men live in hesitation, stuck in excuses, waiting for permission. The man who acts cuts through all that noise. He proves who he is without saying a word. Most men fail here because they confuse talking about goals with living them. They brag, they post, they hype. But when you strip it all down, there's nothing behind it. And that emptiness kills attraction because it reveals weakness. Women don't want to hear about what you might do someday. They want to feel the power of a man who is already moving. The stronger move is to make action your language. If you say you're working on yourself, let it show in your body, your focus, your results. If you say you're building your future, let your consistency prove it. When your life reflects your words, you don't need to sell yourself. Your actions speak for you. So remember this, masculine energy isn't about making promises, it's about keeping them. It's not about loud declarations, it's about quiet execution. A man of action stands out because he doesn't need to chase respect. He earns it step by step, day by day. And that's the energy that women and the world can't ignore. Point 7. Masculine energy is defined by standards, not compromise. The 7th pillar of masculine energy is having standards. Most men throw away their power because they're afraid of losing women. They compromise their values, bend their boundaries, and accept behavior they shouldn't, just to keep her close. But here's the truth. Every time you compromise your standards out of fear, you weaken your masculine energy. Women don't respect the man who tolerates everything. They respect the man who stands firm even if it costs him. Masculine energy thrives on boundaries. It's the ability to say, this is who I am. This is what I will allow. This is what I will not accept. That clarity makes women feel both respect and attraction. Why? Because it shows strength. It shows you're not desperate, you're not a pushover, and you're not afraid of being alone. A man with standards communicates abundance. He doesn't need to settle because he knows his worth. Psychologically, standards equal self-respect. When you set boundaries, you send the message that you value yourself enough to protect your time, energy, and heart. Women feel this deeply. They may test those boundaries, push against them, or try to bend them, but if you hold the line calmly, they feel your masculine frame. And that frame is what keeps their attraction alive. Most men fail here because they confuse standards with control. They think, if I set rules, I'm being demanding. Wrong. Standards aren't about controlling others. They're about controlling yourself. You can't dictate her actions, but you can dictate how you respond. If she crosses your boundaries, you don't argue, beg, or plead. You simply walk away. That choice alone is one of the strongest displays of masculine energy. The stronger move is to decide what you will and will not tolerate before you enter a relationship. Stand firm on your values and let women choose whether they align with you. When you live this way, you attract women who respect your frame and repel the ones who try to use you. That saves you time, energy, and heartbreak. So remember this, masculine energy isn't about lowering yourself to keep someone. It's about raising your standards and holding them. The man who has no standards will always be used. The man with clear standards will always be respected. And respect is the foundation of true, lasting attraction. Conclusion. Now you've seen the truth about masculine energy. It's not about fake toughness, arrogance, or trying to dominate. It's about presence, self-control, direction, calm strength, independence, action, and standards. These 7 pillars separate men who constantly chase approval from men who naturally command respect. Women don't fall for noise, they fall for energy. They feel when a man is grounded, when he can control himself, when he moves with purpose, and when he doesn't compromise his standards. That kind of energy can't be faked. It has to be built. Most men live in performance mode, trying to impress with words, flash, or bravado. But performance always collapses under pressure. Masculine energy, on the other hand, doesn't collapse. It expands when tested. That's why women are drawn to men who embody it, even if they can't explain why. It's primal. It's instinct. It's the deep recognition of strength and stability. So remember this, masculine energy is not about being perfect, it's about being solid. Build yourself until your presence speaks louder than your words. When you live by these principles, you won't need to chase validation because respect, attraction, and loyalty will flow to you naturally. That's the psychology of true masculine energy.